and raised over 100 young. But the mate got a restraining order, and now the spider can't go within 100 centimeters of the web. The spider built a web, found the mate, and raised over. The crack cocaine spider figured building webs was for suckers. Captain Spider was exhausted.
Hello. Hello. Hello, and welcome to the show. Number 42. Weaving Spiders, welcome. Welcome you.
The Return of Snake Jones. Hopefully, if he comes back.
If he comes back.
The
He was here a
return
minute
of the
ago.
return.
That's right. Let's see.
Here I am.
Sorry.
Oh. He's here. Hello.
Hello. Hola. Senor.
How's it going?
Good. I'm multitasking. I'm working on this farm here. Got to do some nightly rounds and then I'll head back in.
Very good. You got to feed those animals down on the farm.
And my plants.
And
My
your
tomatoes.
plants.
Tomatoes. I got to make some more rabbit tea.
Rabbit
Right
tea.
now.
That sounds delicious.
What is rabbit tea?
I'm literally covered in shit every day. Okay, if it's not chicken poop, it's rabbit poop. Sometimes it's dog poop. Thank you, Leo. Step in that. So yeah, life on the farm.
I hear that rabbit poop is it's not hot. Like chicken poop is like super hot with like ammonia and stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make good straight up fertilizer, but rabbit poop is sort of softer poop or something.
It is, and it goes like, I think alpaca poop is the best. Rabbit poop is like second in line, and then yeah, we keep all our chicken poop. I mix it with hay and I compost it, and I'm composting my my rabbit poop as well because I sift the kind of dirty poop that's mixed with their feed or anything that falls to the screens, and then I screen out the really, the good turds, and I collect them. But all that other stuff's getting composted, and that's even better. So a year from now, hopefully, I have some even really good rabbit compost manure.
Do you stir up your compost?
The chickens do, actually. So whenever we,
but I'm not very good at stirring it up. I've gone out and put it out there, but I haven't like churned it around ever. So
I put a bale of hay in the coop a week, or straw, whatever I can get, and I'll clean it out, and it goes in there. and it settles really well. But so about a bale of hay a week in our compost, and it gets moved around a little bit. A lot of rain. It's good. You get a lot of rain.
Rain helps.
You guys are getting lots of rain too?
Yeah, a lot. I know. There's a working night here. Maybe that's what's up.
Krista
Yeah.
says you can make excellent fertilizer with urine.
I might drink my urine, so I just want everybody to know that. I don't. Nothing goes to waste here.
Nothing goes
How's the sunning of the balls, Aaron?
When it comes to summertime, midsummer, not a good time to sun the balls. Just so you know. Found that out the hard way.
That sounds like it's
Oh,
from
rough day.
experience.
Like,
I
honey,
think
I
we
don't know
need a
what's
story.
wrong. Yeah. Yep. Live and learn.
Little cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, little thanks. Little faggy ones. I'm 40 now.
Yeah, gravity.
40. Oh yeah, dude,
Yep.
that sagging is a real thing.
Live and learn.
It's a real thing. I'm sorry, fellas. Cherry tomatoes.
Little thanks. Oh.
Sorry, I had a feedback there.
All right, what was that? I'm multitasking. What's everybody up to this week? I guess
Johnny's
we're
in the
talking
chat.
about current events, which is fucking insane.
Oh, did you guys even, are you paying attention? Does anybody even try to pay attention anymore? It like finds me. I don't even look for anything anymore.
I don't know how you could.
Right?
I'm being reactive all of a sudden. I'm being like, and I'm open. I think everybody should be doing this. So Biden is coming out every other day. You have some little snippet of him saying something fucking insane, but he's all. We saw 4 days ago. It was the shooting war. There's another next cyber breach. You can count on a shooting war, ground war. I was like, well, who's he talking to? Wait a minute. He's already talking about, right. You're a murderer if you're unvaccinated. So there's us that, well, I don't know if you guys are, but that'll never happen with me. This ain't, I've been called a murderer by them, and then you hear that. So we went out and made a food buy. So we just went ahead and stocked the shelves. We're doing an upgrade on the cellar, the root cellar. But that's reactive. We're being reactive. It sucks. Glad we can, but that's life these days. That's current events.
Dude, hey, I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna try and reconnect this thing.
Okay, no problem.
You guys cool with that?
Oh yeah.
He must be having a little bit of glitchiness. Yeah.
Didn't seem like it.
Yeah. It seemed okay. It's rough sometimes when you got glitchy on your end. Seems like every time I've been going live, it's been real glitchy.
But we got internet. That's another thing. Got internet in the farm last week. They actually installed fiber. Yeah. I don't know. Is it? We went over a year without it.
Yeah, it's just one more thing to miss when the world goes to hell in a handbasket.
When? Did you say when?
When?
Now that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not entirely sure that it hasn't been going on since like the 80s or 90s even.
Yeah, you're a smart man. Very observant of you.
Well, I didn't realize it. It's been a slow boil.
Yeah. We're the frogs in the pot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of, for me, it's just putting the work into the farm. And it's nothing like I imagined. Even after spending the time up there with Benjamin and Christy and those amazing human beings over the summer, those little things like, they would tell us stories about their early days, you know, bucketing water and all the things that they fucked up. You know, it's a learning curve out here. And so putting the time and energy in this place it's been good. It's kept me away from all that, where I'd probably be insane from dwelling on these so-called current events.
Current distraction events.
Right? Yeah, that's better.
So have you're having are you having extreme weather out there?
Yeah, today it was really hard to get a lot of things done because I'm bouncing from there's all kinds of locations on my 26 acres we're doing work on, and you know, so it's like, oh, it's raining, I'll work inside. Okay, it stopped raining, I jump outside because the coops and the hutches right now are top of the list priority. And but now it started raining again, and you're like, throwing tarps, pulling tarps, throwing tarps. You know, that's how it is.
Yeah. I've been
So,
noticing
yeah.
it a lot. Extreme. It's extreme out here. It really sucks trying to do anything outside in extreme heat. I think it's all it's hard to garden, you know?
Yeah. I
This-
try to my routine is in the evenings, and then today I didn't get to harvest everything. Definitely got watered though, so that helps. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do it in the morning, and you do it in the evening. First thing, go to the garden.
We've been having
Yeah.
these extreme heat up here, and it's like it's super convenient. Like it's beautiful and like, you know, low 80s during the week, and then come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's like 106.
Wow.
Just unbearably hot. Impossible to do anything outside for very long. And then Monday it's like cool again. It's kind of discouraging.
90-degree weather, 88 yesterday,
What was that?
You're in the Midwest, so
15-degree heat.
Sorry, you were roboting there for a second. Could you say that
Oh,
again?
sorry. Oh, I was just saying that we're the ones that should have the 106-degree heat. It's been 88 and 90. It's nuts.
oh yeah, Arizona, you get rain too.
Dude, we've been getting some serious monsoons that have been nuts. Like we were stuck here for 2 days because all the roads were all washed away, which isn't that special. It happens periodically, but this year we haven't had heavy monsoons in a long time, and this one's just been just a slammed.
Yeah, that's crazy. How long have you lived out there?
In this location, 15 years, 16 years, I think. Out more rural, outside of Tucson. So there's lots of, between us and Tucson, there's probably 1 million washes. So when the monsoons come, it rushes, all those flash floods happen, and it kind of rushes all the junk and debris into the roads, so nobody can go anywhere until they get them all cleaned up.
So is it pretty flat out there? And then it just blows like junk on the roads, and so you can't see them or get over them? Or
No, it's all hilly stuff. And so we're all surrounded by mountains here. So all the rain runs down the mountains into this valley, and it just kind of washes all the junk from 10 miles away down into the road, you know, and into our yards and into the desert until it finally soaks in. But it takes a while, you know.
so you get free new landscaping every month.
Yeah. Yeah. Once a year, we all get new landscaping. Yeah, kind of.
And new pets too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, the dog, all our backyard was flooded, and the dogs come in, and they're all freaked out because of the lightning and stuff. But my Ridgeback mix comes in, and the other dog is barking at it. And I'm like, what does she have? Because she's like guarding something, you know, in her bed. And I go over there, and she just kind of goes, "Bleh," and then spits out this baby kangaroo rat. And the thing was like about that size right there, about that much of my thumb. And of course she saves it. So I have to take care of it now. I'm not gonna, you know, I can't just put it back out into the flooded yard. And it's not like I can feed it to a snake or something. So I took care of it, fed it. I nursed it with a paintbrush and baby formula from the corner store, which is the only place we could get to, and it survived.
That's
Fine.
so awesome.
I think I froze. Did I freeze?
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give him to the wildlife center here, and they took care of him. He was doing great.
What a
cool.
great idea, using a paintbrush to feed him.
That
Yeah, that is a
I
good
saw
idea.
that on the dodo of somebody trying to rehabilitate a baby squirrel or something, and that was the only thing we had, and it worked. He did it though.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anybody saw him, but he's like
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cute as hell. Amazing. That's something
Yeah, that's
that
gonna help me out
small.
with baby rabbits. I'm gonna end up doing that. I know it.
Oh yeah. Are they all nursing?
Yeah, well, our first litter, I didn't think about a paintbrush. Hard to feed them. They kind of like want to nipple bite it, and this had like a dropper. So I'm gonna try it next time. Good idea. See what happens.
That's cool.
So
So Aaron, do you want
how
to?
many baby rabbits have you had so far?
They were born. Say the first or second. Today's the second. Yeah. I don't even know what day it is. Jeez. They were born yesterday morning. I was actually ready for this time, and yeah, 13. So this is the third litter of her. She's had the first one. She had like 6. Second litter was 13. 3 survived, and this time we're really hoping all of them do.
Cool. You're gonna be swimming in bunnies.
I'm gonna be swimming in hamburger and rabbit meat. You know.
Yeah.
Or I could sell them because I think it's kind of got popular. Meat rabbits, so if they're a good breed.
I'll buy some bunnies from you.
Yeah, you said that. We were talking about that. I was like, how would I get the bunnies up there? I guess I could drive them up there. That'd be a problem, huh?
Freeze them and ship them, right?
Ship them?
I want them alive. You can ship them. I know people do ship animals, but I mean, you got to pay extra because it's like a special. They have somebody watching them, you know, and they send them in a box with the holes and whatnot.
We can meet somewhere in the middle from Missouri to Washington.
That'd be cool.
And I'll bring you some.
I'd be down. I've got the stuff to make some rabbit hutches. Just haven't had the weather to build them yet.
Yeah, that's another learning. I had to learn. I didn't build them on stilts. That was a bad move.
So why do you want stilts?
Airflow, and they piss and shit. So I put trays. Trays work great to catch their poop and all that. But and I'll do that again. But being on the ground was just so dumb. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I know what I was thinking. I'd like lost my finger the week before. I was like, a lot of pain. And made a bad move. So that's how I learned.
Well, it's good to know. Now I'll put mine on stilts.
Yes. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I bought some wood. I went down to the Home Depot and they've got this cart in the back of the store with all this wood that's got a purple spray paint on it. And it's like the odds and ends are like bent or like they got run over by the forklift or something. And it's
Yeah.
all 75% off. So, I mean, it's not,
What?
yeah,
Oh,
pretty
you
good
lucky
deal.
dog.
What's that?
You lucky dog. You know how much I spent on twigs? God.
Fuck. It's like
Yeah.
5 times the old prices for
Yeah,
wood
it's
now.
75% off normal price, right?
Yeah, 70% off normal price. That's still 2 or 3 times as expensive as it should be.
That just takes care of taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it away
Yeah,
for
and
free.
there's a construction site up the road where they're demoing a building and they're selling the wood.
get it.
lumber. I was thinking about picking some up just for a stockpile.
No, that's what I've been doing for the last 6 months. Is stockpiling all kinds. My neighbor, God bless him, he asked me. He kind of does that. He on the side, he tears down old barns or helps people with that and hauls stuff off. He's a dump truck driver, and he gave me a nice big load of old barn wood. And I'm just now getting into it on the down there. So that was very awesome of him. Good people down here.
Excellent. Yeah, those garbage truck drivers get the best stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that mafia. Amazon drivers too, apparently. Yeah.
That's probably a good point. Amazon's pretty good at insuring the packages.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, that's part of the thing of learning out here. Like, I mean, I'm pretty good about being resourceful and planning ahead, but to find anything, I mean, we're an hour away really from anything to begin with, right? And so it's like a day trip. We really have to plan ahead when it comes to getting out there and getting what you need.
Yeah, I bet.
It can get frustrating, but hey, that's part of the deal.
Yeah, well, it beats the old days, before cars. All the towns out here are like a 1-day horse ride away from each other.
Yeah.
20-30 minutes, but that was a whole day on a horse.
Even in a car, it was like top speed 30 miles an hour in a Model T, right?
Yeah, probably. And that was an unsafe speed to be driving one of those, probably.
But I mean, at least you run it off the brain alcohol that you made in your backyard.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'll
Have you ever done that?
I want to get this flip so bad. It's having to. My father-in-law has one. You can get some pretty cheap ones now off Amazon, of course.
A distiller?
Yeah, $100.
Really?
$150. I don't know how well they work, but we had one guy up on the mountain. He had a little setup. I think it might have been something similar to what I saw on Amazon, and he made a little bit of grain alcohol with it. Creek water. Boom.
Yeah,
That's a
I mean, if you're not
Things like
drinking
that'd be
it,
fun. You can do all sorts of things.
you can make it out of grass if you're using it for a combustion engine. Ethanol and methanol are the two kinds of alcohols that you make. And
Hey, you
ethanol,
lost that word out here. It's crazy like that. That word.
what's that?
I can't say it. It's a word that should not be said out
Oh,
here in the rural areas of Missouri.
I'm not talking about a lab.
Oh, don't say that either.
But yeah,
They're making soap and candles, damn it. That's all it is.
Are you guys still there? Am I still here?
it must be slowing us down.
Yeah, man, I was having trouble. This iPhone sucks. I threw it twice in the last couple of weeks. I'm just like, there's weird things happening on it that don't happen on my other phone. I'm getting rid of it. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
getting paranoid. It,
Right.
no, for real, but targeted advertising is really crazy too. Like,
definitely.
I didn't know they advertised for midget porn, but I was only talking about it. Next thing you know.
That marketing is always surprising, huh?
Well, yeah,
How did they
what was
know?
crazy was on my wife's phone, wasn't on mine. I'm like, oh shit.
How did they know you needed testicular sunscreen, Aaron?
No, right? No, yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. Don't put
Looks like
sunscreen on, by the way. That's a terrible idea.
Alan
Mallow.
Marcus is joining us. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan. Are you there? Mm.
Well, he's trying to join us.
Well, he's trying to join us. Snake, do you want to tell your
I do.
number 19 story?
Yeah, because I got to so it's from the Telegram group. I just signed in for Telegram, and it's like, oh, awesome people. I get to talk to all these awesome people, and I'm like that intoxication of really cool people. You could, Anyhow, so there's a book out there, and that shall not be named because it's for the next few days anyway. I'm gonna kind of keep it mysterious, if you don't mind. And this book's helped me quite a bit. I'm out here by myself, and I got all kinds of books to read, but there's something I was wanting to do for a while, so I finally got this book, and so I think you do it too. You like to sit down and just read a poetry or something like that. So anyway, I just had a moment, man. Like the last 2 weeks, I'm just like breaking out in tears and crying. It's like it could be anything. I don't know. It's just like it comes out, and so I sat down and I opened that sucker, and it was amazing to what it was called transformation. So I recorded it for myself, and there's some other things that were kind of I saw. So I uploaded it. Why not? Not only did I not just uploaded it. If you find this video, I'm just gonna say this: if you find the video, please read the description. No one ever reads the descriptions because it's a nice little present there. That's what it's for, Anyway, someone emailed me after watching it, and it just went parabolic with synchronicity. Starting out with 19, 42 locations like Tucson, Arizona. And I think it's kind of branching off to other people too. I sent him an item and it costs $11.11, that stuff. And it's just, that's my magic. That's all our magic. And it's great to actually experience it like that. It's just, So I shared it with you, Gordon, and just like, who am I going to share this with? Like Gordon will get it. Gordon will like this. And yeah. So check out the video, transformations. It's only what? Oh yeah, it's 1 minute and 19 seconds. I love it. It's good magic.
Yeah, there are so many 19 synchronicities throughout that whole thing, man. Like when this ends up, I'm just so curious.
Yeah.
I am so curious how this is gonna, this is kind of an ongoing story, but whoever gets these and like what's gonna happen, with us, Aaron, and all that kind of stuff, the 191 and the 19s are all over the place.
Yeah, the video is also coming down after 7 days. So I posted it, was it 3 days ago now? So hurry, act fast.
Because you guys do want this thing. Trust me.
You do. And that's what it's about. That magic, when something gets to somebody, like when you transmit a wisdom, like there's nothing about this poetry that I already haven't like gotten to, but it's such a fresh reminder, and it's like, oh, I'm not the only one. We've all come to these conclusions, and it's just like this. It's like a magic circle of individuals trying to be individuals, but realizing, we're all like connected. We're all connected. We're all doing the work. I'm not out here by myself. When I tell myself I'm out here by myself, I'm like, no, you're not. There's a bunch of other people dude.
Yeah, man. That's the biggest thing for me lately, especially now. Like just reminding myself that I'm not alone in this,
No.
you know? Like there's all you guys, which is why I do this, but like these communities have some powerful people in them.
Yeah, all of us. And it's just
Mhm.
about I'll forget my own power. I've done
Mhm.
it. I'll forget my own power. And like again, I had this amazing experience with a couple of other YouTube channels all in one day. It was started off with this guy, Slick Dissident, and he had posted this amazing little video. It was only, he doesn't know. He's just sharing his wisdom. But for me, it was like, are you spying on my soul? How did you know this? You know?
Hmm.
And then there was another YouTube video of a small channel, and then another one, and and then I got to that poem, and not to the poem, the dream started again, and it's like, it's this collective magic, white magic, good magic, good magic, good loving, caring, crazy, weirdo magic that it's always worked that way. And I forgot. So I had to do some work on myself out here, and I normally decided to kind of isolate myself, go full on hermit for a little bit, but it gets to a point where no one wants to live like that. I know I don't.
Yeah, there are those seasons in our life though that we need to do that. I think it's been really good for me, like the last 2 years, kind of doing that, just
Awesome.
going off into the desert and just walking, you know?
Oh, you do that?
Oh yeah, just go out and just keep walking. Like I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to end up, but I always find cool stuff out there. Like I found this whole area that's labeled underground facility out here.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like,
remember.
that's just from wandering around. Like there's weird shit everywhere.
Definitely here.
Which,
I'm going to start talking about it, but there is no undiscovered place in America, I don't think. I think going back 10,000 years, there's always been someone somewhere.
mm-hmm.
There's been a footstep, and you'll find traces if you know how to look. But then nature alone.
Yeah. I was thinking about that this week because my stepdad and I used to go hunt and fish in Montana and Wyoming, like way out in the middle of nowhere, like where people really haven't been for a decade or two, you know? But you see little pieces of cabins and things and where humans have been, even if it's been a long time. But yeah, we've been pretty much everywhere except for the ocean.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
That we
Probably.
haven't been to the ocean?
Man?
Yeah.
Well, you've never heard the mermaid theory?
No.
Really? The mermans?
Lay it on us.
We actually came out of the water?
Oh, the naked ape thing.
The naked ape.
Or
Yeah.
yeah. Or the aquatic ape theory.
Aquatic ape. Thank you.
Yeah.
God, I guess that overload of information.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. I haven't heard of that for a long time.
Anything's possible. It just really is.
Yeah.
And that's the mystery. Restore the mystery. That's where I'm happy. I don't need to know the fucking answer. I don't need to know the answer to everything.
Isn't that a relief?
Yeah.
Such a
is.
relief. Hey, Alan. We need to bring you in here. Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
How's the health front over there? Yours and your pops.
You might hear it. They're active, so I've been on mute for a while. You might hear them chatting. I'm trying to keep the volume down.
Ah, I gotcha.
Let me know if you hear them.
A little bit, but your pop's home now?
Yep.
Good.
How are you feeling?
Still tired. Still
Mhm.
kind of dealing with the wildfire smoke. It's been up and down. It's rained and it's just been humid, so it's been terrible.
What state are you in, Owen?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Oh, man.
Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are getting the Canadian smoke. Okay. Yep.
That's true.
I don't watch TV, so you have to fill me in.
I just have to walk outside, and every morning I walk outside, and everyone I see, I say, "Hey, how about this smoke again? What do you think about this?" And they're like, take
COVID.
their headphones off and like, "Oh, hi." What? They put them back on.
Wow. Wow.
And that
We're
sun
out.
so apocalyptic too through the smoke.
Oh yes.
We
It's just
evacuated the fires last year. That was my first experience with it. It was intense. Where's you out quick?
Mhm.
The smoke?
Smoke. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even like he didn't. You're not experiencing smoke like that, are you? I mean, it looked like Mars for days. Pine needles and ash, the shape of ash just falling. Whole pine needles that were burnt, just landing on you. Ash like snow.
You guys had to escape hell there for a minute, right?
Yeah. Wasn't hell until we got to learn the BLM told us. Like the BLM owns all the parks up there. There is no federal parks anymore. It's all run by BLM. It's all over. No one knows. So they have enclaves, man. They even told us. You know, the BLM guys. Like I just had my job here so I can live here. All right. And one guy explained to us because it was like day 8 or 9, and we're just like exhausted. They told us we couldn't stay there, but we stayed there. And they're like, "Oh no, you can stay here." And we're like, "Yeah, because we're not going anywhere, buddy." They're nice, but they're just regular people like us, just looking after the place. And anyway, the one guy, he checked on us 3 times a day for what? To make sure we weren't start having a fire to cook food, like even a propane burner, you know. Anyhow, I just walked up. He's like, "Yeah, is there anything I can do for you?" And I was like, "Yeah. Why don't you find the people who are starting these fires and actually do something about it instead of just sitting here?" I just put off on him. He goes, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa." He's like, he's like, "I understand. I know." He's like, "But it doesn't, you can't just do that." I'm like, "What? You can't put an APB out for these people? You know who they are." He goes, "Well, that's not what I mean." He goes, "We got APBs out." He's like, "But, how do you do that for drones dropping gel fire bombs?" And that's what he was saying. The FBI had APBs out with them, looking for people with drones dropping fire bombs. We also, it happened September 7th, 2020?
That can't be true. Aaron, that can't be true. That we were told that it was reveal parties, right?
I don't know. I don't watch TV. I don't know what they're telling me. I know what the fuck I saw. I know what the fuck I saw. I know what I experienced. I mean, Dutch Shents caught that dew beam. September 7th was the last night at the ranch before Fahoo Farms before we evacuated that morning. And it happened so fast. But Dutch Shents caught that beam going into that August complex fire where they overheated it, and it was just whatever they were doing. And then, I remember we finally got service, so we were evacuated, and that general got up there and said, "Yeah, China has space-based weapons, do weapons and stuff." It was definitely a response to Dutch Shents' video because they got caught red-handed.
It was a response to what?
There's a guy, Dutch Shents. He's been on for 10 years. He monitors earthquakes and he forecasts them almost 100%. And he shows you how he does it. So he makes a USGS look like fuckheads. They're idiots. They're lying about they're downgrading earthquakes. They're not, you know, they act like, oh, we don't know when earthquakes are going to happen. Yes, we do. Check. I'll send you a link later on Telegram.
Yeah, no, I've seen that guy. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. I've forgotten about it. I'm glad you mentioned that because I kind of forgot that was a thing.
He comes on. I watch.
He's right. He used to be on Coast like many years ago, talking about how he can predict the earthquakes. Right? That's the same guy, right?
I stopped listening to Coast back in 2010, 2011.
Yeah, same. Probably
Front
before
of
that.
But yeah, so we're talking about the fires, and Alan was bringing it up, and Mike, I was stunned, and I didn't know. We felt safe. You look off, and you see like these towering billows of Hiroshima, like, you know, fire clouds, and we were told we were okay because we were so close to the coast and the redwoods, but and nothing burnt. It was just the smoke. They really are. It's about displacing. I went through all my savings. I had my savings, everything I had for the trip went in a week from some little seedy gas station in this small little town. It was really weird. But, you know, a gallon of milk was $10 and, you know, kind of thing. And I went through most of what I had just in that week and a half of just for supplies. But I also brought supplies.
Yeah.
Brought army tents and everything like that we used. It's good to be prepared.
Yeah.
Food and water.
Yeah, that's
Some other things.
kind of coming up for me. Like I'm thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah, we just did a buy. Food's so expensive. Like it was like $4.50 a loaf of bread. I'm like, what the hell? So Jenny actually bought a bread maker. My wife, and she's got a yeast culture going. So for sourdough.
See, since I've been off bread, we even have a bread maker that I don't use because I can't get a wheat to work well enough where it doesn't mess up my gut because I've been off wheat for so long. I think, although I'm pretty sure I've got celiac, so I can't eat wheat at all. But it's made a huge difference in my. Do I what?
Can you do sourdough bread? No, you can't.
No.
No flour, no nothing. Wow.
No, I can do heirloom. I can do heirloom wheat. Like that doesn't seem to bother me, but that stuff's expensive.
Yep.
And it's not worth it for me because I don't miss bread that much.
Well, look at it like this though: an emergency situation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Could you eat it, or
absolutely?
Could you at least feed other people with it? So that's how
right.
I've been eating egg. I'm on a strict diet of eggs for the last 6 months. It's crazy.
Are you really, dude? I eat tons of eggs.
Tons to eat. I'm like that guy from Napoleon Dynamite.
You're putting them in your orange juice.
Yeah.
With like Worcestershire sauce or something.
Yeah.
Some weirdo thing.
Dude, these chickens, it's their farm, not mine. They're taking over.
That's going to be Aaron in like 10 years. The old man with a pitchfork. No, over there, I took a guy's head off with a cheese grater.
Yep. All right.
See, those are the stories we need to hear, Aaron.
Yeah. I'm dirty, man. I told you I'm covered in poop every day. I gave up. My wife, she was just, when we first moved in there, she was going nuts, like just sweeping constantly. It's a never ending dragging in chicken poop and farm shit, you know. This is life.
Oh, you must be so diseased, Aaron.
Huh.
Working
I am if I
in all that poop.
If I go to the county up north in St. Louis, they look at me like I'm a freak.
Right? They look at all of us like we're freaks.
Yeah. Well, they just started it again. I mean, it's bad. It's almost like the people have been anxious for it. They want it. Like, ooh, yeah, we could do it again.
I don't understand. I don't.
Yep, slavery is real. Mind control is real.
And they're
The
choosing.
TV is not. It's a weapon, motherfucker. Look at it. Look what it's doing. My wife's in the hospital, and she's going insane. She can't. She's like having a mental breakdown just from the TV. She's like, you don't get 2 seconds without hearing COVID, Dr. Fauci, COVID, Dr. Fauci. And she says in the last week or two, what's changed is now they're talking about unvaccinated people more than just as much as that. They talk about the unvaccinated.
Mm.
Such a push. Such a push.
Yeah.
It's suspicious as hell. I mean, if you take a step back and look at it.
Well, we've been seeing it coming. All of us saw it coming. It's nothing new for us.
I
We
freaked
saw
out.
those strings.
Yeah, I freaked out. I bought gas masks. I bought all that stuff 2 or 3 months before anyone even knew it was a thing. Before March 13th or whatever, March 11th. But I'd gotten to that point. I was so crazy and being weird. My wife is not. She's almost a normie, you know, when it comes to that.
Yeah, same.
I saw that my son, he was 9 then. He's like, Dad, are we all going to die of COVID? And I was like, what? Wait a minute. He's like, we're going to die of COVID, aren't we? I was like, oh, hold on a second. That really snapped me out of it. I was like, I got to find out what the fuck's going on here because this is not good. My son's not going to live like this. My kids aren't going to live like this. You know, I overcame a lot of fears that way. It's not a conspiracy theory thing, you know. And then you're waiting for people to die. Like I actually buried more. I mean, geez, I'm out here recovering from my recovery work.
Right.
Man, I experienced more trauma helping people and addicts and stuff because they all were dying so much from the fentanyl.
It's the fentanyl, man. That stuff is evil. My wife works at a rehab, and it's terrible, dude. It's really bad right now.
Yeah, it came in at 2016. Like really, like the moms and dads were like, you know, one of our members would die, their children, and I remember the first first toxicology report. I'm laughing at something else, and she's like, "It wasn't heroin, it was fentanyl." What's fentanyl? I was like, "I've heard of it, but I didn't even." And then they didn't even have. We used to do the 8 to 10 strip drug tests we'd give away for free at the Hope meetings for parents, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because we had to rethink everything. I mean, you're carrying Narcan with you everywhere. You're giving it away. Like you don't just when you give that stuff out, and then you're getting ridicule from people. All you're doing is encouraging addiction. It's like cool. Well, you know.
Are you still there? Am I still here?
I'm still here.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
When you give last rites to your best friend from a failed treatment, because that's what we do. We're addicts. Or relapse on heroin. Heroin ain't gonna kill you. Period. It's always fentanyl, actually. So we had to rethink everything. Yeah. So I'm out here doing that, and then here comes COVID, and these motherfuckers. I will roundhouse kick you in your fucking jaw if you talk to me about COVID deaths. I will fucking hurt you. And it's not me like wanting to hurt you. It's just that you have brought up funeral after lost friend after seeing amazing human beings actually like strive to survive and do the best they can and still succumb to the illness of addiction because some assholes, which turns out to be the CIA, who have been trafficking that shit directly from fucking Afghanistan. And the reason I know that is we don't know, but you find that out and you're like, fuck, there's no defense. It's just like, it's never going to stop. What are you going to do? And then you're telling me about COVID? Fuck you. And that wasn't even an opiate epidemic. That was an organized crime epidemic coupled with a healthcare crisis. You bring guys into treatments up here, they're already on Suboxone. They've already got bipolar diagnosis. They got all this shit. Well, they're doing this to these poor addicts. They're just like, oh, yeah. It's like, dude, I'm just an addict. I can't stop fucking using.
Here's the other problem, too, is our mental health. A lot of these guys have already been certified as, what do they call it, SRI, because they needed the help, right? They needed the mental health help. But now so a lot of the rehabs aren't taking SRI cases. So they're not going to get the help that they need. They need to go to detox, but they can't go to it.
Nope. Oh,
Here's the other thing, Aaron.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie, the documentary series, The Last Narc?
I don't want to.
Okay. Okay. I'll
I
give
know,
you a synopsis.
I know these people. You know, my second Hope meeting, which is Help It for Opiate Addicts Parents Exist. I accidentally walked in that meeting, and I was with my mother-in-law, my brother was going through his addiction at the time. And this is me when I'm just like, I've only recently got to re-meet her after 2 years of being away from home. And she's like, you know, when you get sober and stuff, like people are like, yeah, it's great. You've been sober for 2 years. And they haven't seen it. They're like, it takes almost like, it took 1, 2, 3 years sometimes still. And they still are worried, you know, in the back of their mind, they think that I'm going to do something, you know. And but anyway, we walked into that meeting on accident, and they said, next week we have a guest speaker. It's a DE agent for St. Louis County. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm going to have to be at this one. I want to mention to see what they have to say. And anyway, what I found when I got there was these parents were so insane, just like at the attic, because, you know, it's a family illness. And they were so obsessed with trying to figure out what it was going on in my head as an addict and this and that. And what I did to turn it around was during this meeting, first off, it's, you know, stop using, I just ripped into these guys, the DE agents. And I was like, first off, stop using addicts as CIs. They're mentally ill. They're sick. They're in fear of they're going to tell you anything they want. And look at the problem you have. You're a piece of shit. Get away from these fucking mothers. You know, I just let them have it because, like, and the one guy got up and he's like, you know, he kind of gave me a look. We're to next time, buddy, me and you. And I'm like, that's right, you know. But the one guy stayed, agent. It turned out his kid was an addict, and he didn't have anybody to talk to.
Gee, almost made it personal, huh? Finally.
Well, he didn't know what to do. So now I was like, oh my God, dude, Joe Biden's son's a fucking crackhead. Hey, Hunter, if you hear this, give me a call. I'll sponsor you, bro. We'll fucking, you can do this. You know, hey, Biden, come to a Hope meeting with me. We'll start him over again.
Yeah, we could fix that. We could fix that.
Yeah. So, but back to what I saw is, and it's as simple as, like, I used to teach the parents, if you want to know what it's like to be a heroin addict, here's a syringe. I'll be right back in about a half hour. I'll go comp something for you and put that shit in your vein. That's the only way you'll ever know. Do you guys want to? We'd probably be better off talking about being a mom again or a dad. It's been a while, huh? You know, and they did.
Well,
Once they started doing that, though, these moms and dads these are the moms and the dads from the Hope group and these support groups that were popping up. They were the ones who were donating money to these treatment centers that needed to be open. They were helping me by buying my soap and candles, which got me to help get guys into detox. A whole bunch of things. And then they started educating themselves real quick. We had another DA agent come in later. And this time, as a matter of fact, my best friend was on life support. This was like 2 days before he died. They took him off life support, Matthew. And it was in my recovery house. Anyhow, I left the hospital because I had to be at the Hope meeting, and I walk in, and here's this guy. He's like, "Oh, I'm blah 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 from the DEA." I grabbed his hand, like this is a handshake, right? They knew who I was, and I gave him a grip like I've never given someone a grip before, and he just looked like, you know, like, what the hell? And I'm like, "You're here to help, huh? And how do you plan on doing that?" He's like, "Well, I'm going to tell them about blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Get out of here." And the moms called me in the table. I was just so distraught because it had been a very long week of looking at that damn machine, the brainwave machine, just flat. Anyhow, and I'm like, "I'm going to tear this guy open." And they're like, "No, Aaron, these mothers are amazing. They surrounded me." But they took care of it. they were educated, man. He tried to put his spiel. He had like a spiel. I guess he's been to a lot of schools, and he tells them all this spiel, like, you know, the fentanyl and the heroin. That's not. We got it under control. The parents are like, well, hey, what happened to all the assets you seized? Where's that money going? We need treatment centers. And he's like, hey, where's this fentanyl coming from? We heard it's coming from China and some of you guys. And he's like, no, that's no.
Yes, it was. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it was them.
Definitely them. By the end of it, he quit halfway in it. He's like, look, oh my God. He was like, he's like, oh my God, I've never met anyone like you guys. I wasn't prepared for this. You guys got me. He literally did. He just put his hands up. And I'm just sitting there like, that's how much those moms and dads grew. And I saw it turn. I mean, that's their children. They were dying. For them. And they just wiped it all out. And all the hard work that we had done. Close the meetings, all that stuff.
They just left?
Well, I was trying to
took the kids and left
going on Zoom, and no one wanted to do Zoom meetings because we were doing Zoom a couple years prior to that, you know, just like we're doing now, keeping in touch with everybody. But they didn't want to do it because of privacy issues and anonymity. Like, fucking kids are dying. 3 months later, we finally got the Zoom, and the number one topic with all the moms and dads was, my son or daughter was sober 3 months, and they just got this fucking $2,000 stimulus check, and they're out there using, and I think they're gonna die.
Oh,
I'm telling you, that's that. It was like, I was like, I'm done. I gotta go.
Wow.
Because it's compassion fatigue, it's all that. But you know, do what you can. I know a lot of people, and I don't like people calling me wanting to go take their kid to detox if I can't get them. So I kind of ran from it too, because all of a sudden, for the first time, I really had zero tools, unless I like open up my own house to people, which I have occasionally. We're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, a lot.
When alcoholic or addict gets sober, like there's different calibers, you know. But these ones that really, really just everyone's convinced they're gonna die, they're convinced they're gonna die or whatever, and this alchemy happens. This separation, purification, reunification. Become these amazing human beings that we really need right now. Like, you know, partly not being able to overcome a lot of my fears, and the character that I have came from my recovery. Just wanting to, you know.
Yeah, dude. Some of the most amazing people I've ever met are people like you, or like in rehab, man. There are some amazing people. I mean, a lot of people that are you kind of, dude, the kids, like these people are young. It terrifies me. Terrifies me.
15, 16, 17. I mean, if you've not hugged a mother whose 15-year-old boy tried heroin for the first time, it was fentanyl, and it was the weekend they're away, died, and was in their bed. Yeah. And no one, everyone's scared to talk to these moms too, and these parents, because they don't want to be accountable to them. They don't want to be accountable to them, and they don't know what to say. You know, that's what really is going on, and there is no defense.
Well, that's why we got to get it, like you're saying. You're empowering people. When you take those people, you're empowering them to find themselves.
That's it.
That's what they need, is to find their own power. Their parents can't do that for them. The rehab's not going to do that for them.
I have tricks up my sleeve.
Nobody's going to do that for them except for them.
We're not supposed to.
Right. We can't.
You don't want to sell a person short and steal their experience of getting the experience. You want them to get the experience. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. It's like watching right now. Like people, I'm telling you, man, families are going to be killing their fucking kids with love because we need the vaccines because we love you. You need to do this. And they're like, I don't want to. I just got off needles. Sober a year. Right. You want me to take another shot? I can imagine. But I've seen more parents and family members kill their kids' sheer love. That's what it is. They want to do everything for them. So we had this culture thing as well. You add to it. It's like 90% of the addicts I know that have died of an overdose, it's been in mom's basement or bathroom.
Because they're enabled. Because the parents think they're helping them. They think they're loving them, but they're enabling.
Yeah, it's tragic. But all it takes is one or two addicts to come in and tell their story, like, hey,
The stimulus checks are real. And the director from Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge told us that exact same thing. He said the lockdowns and the stimulus checks allowed them to go straight to the ATM, get the cash out, and exchange it for whatever food they wanted, which was not from a grocery store.
Joe Biden is a drug dealer. He's been a drug dealer, mafia boss. He knows these stimulus checks are going to go directly to these people, and it's going to go to the black market, and it's going to go into his pockets. In the story, that's all he is.
Yeah.
This is
the whole drug trade is federally enabled. Like that's what that documentary, The Last Narc, is about. It was a guy here that grew up here in Tucson, and he got involved with the. He was trying to take down the Jalisco cartel, and found out that they were the ones that were funding the drug running during the Iran-Contra. So they were funding the Iran-Contra stuff with the drug running that they were running between here and Jalisco, Guadalajara. And they ended up stumbling on that guy, Felix, I can't remember his name, but anyway, he was a federal agent just under Oliver North. And he was the one that was running all the drug runs that was funding the arms that was going to Nicaragua. And they killed that agent because of that, because he was getting close to that. So our federal government ordered basically a hit on their own DEA agent. This is fact. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is true.
It's on like Amazon Prime too, and like Netflix probably.
Yeah, I just watched it on Prime.
Yep. See, and that's another thing. I'm stunned when I'm making this stuff, but when it first started coming out, like those films, I was like, yes, finally. No, it didn't do nothing. It's woken up a lot of people, but that's never been the issue. Human beings use mind-altering substances, period. And you have no fucking business telling me what I can and can't put in my body. End of story. Anyone who does that to you is a tyrant. They're a psychopath, and they need to be told that's not your business. You know,
absolutely. Autonomy is the whole of the theme. That's it. That's the only thing that's sacred. Personal sovereignty.
I grew up in Dare. I remember, I was like, right. I got the Dare Award and everything like that when I did it in 5th grade. It was the first thing. They were like, "Oh, he's a prime star student. Became a fucking addict." It doesn't do anything. It just makes them look good. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think everybody that had those Dare shirts ended up becoming addicts later on in life.
Yep.
Every drug dealing punk that I knew that was doing drugs had them. They all wore them. Yeah. It was their swastika, you know.
Yeah.
It was a dare. It was their rebellion.
Also
now it's a Trump. Now it's a Trump hat.
Also remember that. Yeah, that was the Trump hat. Oh God, I'm saying. This is addict is one of the 12 archetypes of Carl Jung talked about, the shadow. So that whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, my big thing is, I'm not going to say there's a cure for alcoholism and addiction, but there's definitely a life path available for everyone so they can be individualized, grow, become a wise elder, someone. You just grow out of it. You do. You heal. You're going to heal. If you have the ability to heal, you're going to get hurt throughout your whole life. We're just getting kicked in the balls all kinds of ways because we're caring, loving, big-hearted people. We get kicked in the balls. Well, we know how to heal too now. prior, I didn't. I was completely confused. I didn't know nothing. I didn't have a, and the shadow stuff. So integration, all these things, like that's the answer. And they want everyone to be addicts to something. They want everybody operating in shadow. What they want suppressed isn't shadow. What they want, they'll suppress you as a child. They'll fuck you up. All your natural instincts and your magic and your imagination and creativity is going to get all screwed up. They're going to do that to you. They'll create a shadow. And then it's not going to pop up until later because these are some dark wizards, sorcerers, psychologists. And then that's when they take the shadow out, and then the shadow will suppress. I see a lot of people operating in shadow. I see it now. We're talking about the vaccine people. They're projecting their fears everywhere.
Oh.
How can you not overcome these things that are so obvious? How? Well, right now, this is why I'm they're undeveloped people. They're like children in adult bodies. They're with strings attached to them, and the puppeteers just can do whatever they want with them now. It's so tragic.
What's even more tragic is they think they're thinking for themselves. They don't even know that they're not thinking on their own.
Someone posed a question to me in early recovery. Have you ever had an original thought? And I was like, Original what? Of course I have. It did something to me. I think you can. I know you can. It's creativity. It's imagination. But these people don't know that. They really think I've seen some of the conversations that people have too on the phone. They're just chit-chatting and gossiping. Did you hear Bob got sick? He's going to get everyone else sick if blah, 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 blah. Like some cackling hens, old ladies. That's what's going on. Our wife sees it all the time. She's like, all they do is repeat what the fuck they heard on the TV. These aren't, I got a plumber telling me how to do my healthcare. The fuck? Because he saw something on TV. I can tell you what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do, kind of thing. You really need to mind. My 21-year-old son told me, you know what the biggest problem in America is right now? And I'm waiting for some in-depth. I'm like, yeah, tell me. He goes, people don't mind their own fucking business.
Yeah.
People don't mind their own business. They want to tell everybody else their opinion. Mm-hmm. I'm like, whoa. Made me stop talking for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't that funny? Our kids point those things out to us.
Thank God they do.
That's pretty cool. Thank God.
How many kids you got?
One. She's 22.
Yes.
23? She's 23. But same generation as your son.
Yeah, he's a pre 9/11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
There's that's a set point in history now, like pre 9/11 and post 9/11.
I'm losing my my compassion for people because it's like you had 20 years, but then I go back to it because I'm like, man, look at the weapons that they're using against us. There's like no honesty at all. They'll skin you alive and eat your balls and then laugh at you as they do it. And it's like, and then call you some kind of like subhuman. You're not, it sounds crazy, but there's no honor in them. It's like, where's the battlefield? You got a problem with me, dude? You got a problem with me, you organization? Okay, well, let's work it out. You want to talk about it? Nope, you don't want to talk about it. Okay, well then, each one. Okay, well we're gonna have a fight. Fuck it. Where's the battlefield? There isn't one. They're like, huh? The TV? I don't know. That's what I mean. Whatever the Archons, whatever they are, they're sick. The Bidens. All I want to do is get face to face with Biden and go, no, pal, here's the deal. Just ape shit because I still was. Did you see that? Did you see him? He leans over and he goes, here's the deal. He does it. He's done it like 2 or 3 times.
Whispering
Yeah.
Biden.
What's that?
When he was whispering Biden.
Yeah. Whispering Biden. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me the deal, Biden.
Dude, we're in a lot of trouble. I don't have answers. I'm just observing. I'm doing moves to protect my own family. I'm thinking ahead. I really like what motivates me a lot is knowing that this place could one day like probably house and shelter some people when things are going bad. Because there's a lot of people who want what I have, and it's not any fault of their own. This is not easy getting here. This is, dude, I am like teeter-totting on the edge of insanity many times. But I have such a really great support group with like you guys, and you know, there's other people out there doing it. There's other people who don't, and they're good people. So maybe, you know,
Well, you're planting fruit trees. You know, you're setting up things that will feed your family down the road. You know, it's stuff that is hard work now, but you're setting up the foundations for systems that will take care of you. So it will get easier.
yeah,
You know, you don't have to build a barn every year.
no, just you know, take care of it. That's all.
You
Yeah.
can
And
paint it
that-
every year if you want to. You get that cheap barn red paint.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
on this one. That's too old. But that's how I would do it. Yeah, if we get another one up. These metal buildings suck. I got one. Got hot. I'm not complaining. I'm ranting. I haven't been on, man. See, that's I'm out here healing that stuff, man. I thought I was had all this stuff taken care of. And I come out here and I'm in the middle of the forest with just me. It's been great.
Alone with your thoughts.
We need that stuff, man. That's good stuff. Yeah,
Just
get
a
out,
walk.
walk. There's a lot of studies now that talk about how the walking thought process. Oh, wait. Where was it that I just heard that? I can't remember. Maybe it was Chance. Maybe it was a guest that Chance had, but they were talking about walking and how walking meditations like really
Oh my God.
it really get those creative juices flowing, you know, that really like internal exercises, you know, the thought exercises, like really get working. And that's it for me, man. When I go out walking in the desert, that's when stuff starts kicking, you know.
I do. That's you were 100%.
Bringing the oxygen to the brain.
Yeah, we need that. We need to be out in nature. The sun. We need to have our hands in the dirt, you know, go out and ground yourself. Because you can feel it. You feel the, yes, thank you. That's the word. When you put your hands in the dirt, you can feel that transfer of energy, or a tree, like the owl tree or whatever. Like you can feel it.
Hugging the trees barefoot in the ground.
Literally.
Their roots. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm out here doing. I got poop on me every day.
Very grounding. Getting poop on.
Yeah, can't get much more grounded than that, right?
Yeah, you can. Buried 6 feet.
6 feet. Well,
That's fine by me.
I'm good with that.
Just don't balm me. God, it's such a horrible practice.
Oh yeah, I want to just. So, okay, I've thought about this because I actually worked for a year as a, what do you call it? Licensed cemeterian. I don't know. I tried to do cemetery work for 1 year, and the second baby case I had, I was done. I was like, nope, I can't do this anymore. But it made me think about all the alternatives of burial, and there were a couple of cases that we had where people buried themselves or had themselves buried on their own land out here, where there was a situation that I took care of that we had to get permits for this guy out in near Tubac, it was a family ranch, and his dad died. He had to dig it himself and bury his father like with his own 2 hands. I was like, that's a badass ritual right there, man. Like doing it for your father. I always wanted to talk to that dude later on to see what kind of, like, how that helped his grieving process,
That would really be therapeutic, I would think.
right?
Yeah. Very finalizing,
Yeah.
letting go, actually digging that hole and putting him in the ground. That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Reminds
about
me
that.
of pet cemeteries and the process children go through
Mhm.
with pets and learning that process early on. Do you remember the first pet that you were really in love with and then it died?
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of one of my first memories was watching my dog get hit by a car when I was a little kid. Like I'm watching. It's like one of those weird things where you were there at that exact moment, and I watched our dog get hit by a car, and it went. I'm thinking that thing was going to die. She lived. She lived for like 8 more years. It was amazing.
That's one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
But yeah, that was, I think, the first one to die when I was a little kid. Was 8. I was 8 years old.
I think my first pet was that died was it was a fair goldfish that I won at the fair, and
Oh yeah,
they weren't really they never made it for too long. Whenever you get one of those, I ended up flushing it down the toilet.
yeah.
But it was I was pretty little, so it was sad. I remember flushing it myself and saying some words, with my folks were standing behind me. The first ceremony of
Mhm.
death.
I had a county fair goldfish as well. It lasted about, I don't know, a year or so. And then
Really, a
Mhm.
year. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a koi pond at Bible camp, and they've got goldfish and koi in there. They can live quite a long life.
Huh.
Did it get big?
Yes, I fed him every day. If I fed him too much, he would sometimes get a bladder disease, and he would kind of expand a little bit. But we learned quickly not to overfeed and change the water as necessary.
That's cool.
So, Alan, what do you think about the aquatic ape theory? Is I noticed in the chat earlier they were talking about humans coming from Mem and Mar. Was it, who was it? It was Krista and I don't know. Somebody was talking about
I've done my
that.
homework on that topic quite extensively. If I can remember everything, I go back
I knew
to
it. I knew it.
the journals of Christopher Columbus when he traveled, and there's a word that he used, like La Serena.
I've heard this.
Yep,
Yeah, the sirens. Yep.
correct. Yep.
Yep.
And the manatees, the sea cows.
We're differentiated though.
Right. And there's a language family related to La Serena and the sea cows that often gets quite confused, but it ties everything together. So there is that story that can be investigated further.
I knew you would know something about it.
Mhm.
Alan Marcus. Right on. So, Jim,
Yeah.
you've been watching the McAfee thing, right?
A little bit.
What's your take?
Oh, well, I think it's nefarious. I think it's a
Mhm.
psyop.
Yeah.
I think it's see I go back and forth on whether or not he's actually dead, and he's because it seems, I mean, seems like a lot of material is dropping, you know, as time goes on. It seems like I mean, how much work do you put into your Dead Man Switch? I mean, how long does it go on? I mean, he would have to put a lot of hours of work in to have, Q drop style posts that continually go up. I mean, just writing them, unless it's complete nonsense. It seems like there's a formula, and that's the Q formula, and his posts follow that same formula. And it's like maybe he got a job.
Hmm.
This is his
I
job.
was, yeah, I was thinking the same thing when the whole, even when the rumor about him becoming Q or was Q, immediately I'm like, oh, they employed him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this, I'm not buying any of this stuff, man. Well, I don't know. I don't, I don't know.
Yeah. It seems like, and the way he burns through his money, he's kind of hard up, I would say, by now. And they pretty much do it whatever for a buck. They're probably testing the unhackable Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
Bitcoin,
The
unhackable Bitcoin.
not
Hey,
Bitcoin, but
get Barsky in here. That's a new band name.
unhackable Bitcoin. That's great. Yeah, the blockchain, often the best code breakers are employed by intelligence, but a lot of times they aren't. And you might as well ask all of the internet to work on breaking your codes, test to see if it's really unbreakable. Is it?
So you think that's what he's doing, is leaking stuff out for people to figure out?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd say it's suspicious. It's very suspicious. I don't know enough about blockchain to really weigh in on it, but it seems like something like that's going on. I mean, why I mean, if you've really got something evidence wise, wouldn't you just come out and say it instead of just being enigmatic, especially if you're already dead? Why bury the lead? Why tease everybody about some kind of content unless there's no content and you just want to make a scene after you're dead? But I mean, the guy loved attention, but like how far is he chuckling about it, post posthumously posthumously it's really
Hey, if I can troll you guys from the dead, I'm gonna do it. So maybe, like,
maybe.
I wouldn't put it past him, like if I could screw with my buddies and lead them down something. I don't know. I wouldn't do it like that, man. Make it more fun. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched some crypto folks, crypto junkies trying to figure it out, and they were just going nuts, uh copy pasting his the scripts into text editors and seeing if it, makes if the code is actual HTML or some other language. And it's hard to say. I mean, nobody came up with anything so far. and I kind of quit watching it because it seems like a good way to drop computer viruses into my computer. If I go downloading stuff, I don't know what it is, you know.
Did any of
Yeah.
you guys see the HBO documentary Q Into the Storm?
No,
I did not.
I haven't. I couldn't bring myself to hit play on that one. Like, oh,
It's terrible. There are 6 parts to it. I'm looking at my notes from it. March 21st, 2021, Calm Before the Storm. And Do You Believe in Coincidences? The second episode, March 28th, 2021. Disinformation is Real and Panic in DC. And April 4th, 2021, Game Over and The Storm. So, of course, they got into the Great Awakening and the plan and all of that information that really sort of drove the story away from what it should have been about. The story should have been about 8chan entirely, and it was only part of that story.
yeah, seems like it was. Or I figured it was probably pushed by an intelligence agency. I mean, HBO really is just right on the crest of the propaganda wave. I've noticed for you know, herding the populace into whatever the most popular propaganda is, whatever it is. HBO is, you know, right on the edge of it.
Yes, and it was written, filmed, and directed by a Colin Hoback, whoever that person is.
Hello, Chance.
Hey, I thought I'd take you up on that little invite. You guys were talking about the McAfee Q stuff. I might have been a little behind in the stream. So where are we at now? I'm like 40 seconds behind.
I'm talking about Frederick R. Brennan at this point. Fred, the admin of Wizard Chan. If you guys are familiar with some of these image boards.
Hey, Chance. Good to see you, sir. Sorry.
Jim Watkins had a fun toy, his Rich Man's Yacht. He had a political show that he was using. Do you guys know who that guy is? Jim Watkins.
No.
Sounds familiar.
Jim Watkins has a son as well who features heavily in the Q Into the Storm documentary from HBO. Ron Watkins. Frederick Brennan, he was featured heavily in a Vice documentary as well. So
I was going to ask if this was a Vice thing because HBO owns Vice.
yes, it had to be connected because Vice had hired some investigative journalists to go to the home of Jim Brennan, break into his house, and also to find Jim Watkins in the country that they're staying. And I'm looking at my notes here to try to get it all.
So Jim
correct.
Watkins, is it this guy?
That is him. I see him. Yes.
He was born November 1963. He's an American businessman and the operator of the image board website 8chan and text board website 2channel.
That is him. Yes.
He founded NT Technology in the 1990s to support a Japanese pornography website he created while he was enlisted in the United States Army. After leaving the Army to focus on the company, Watkins moved to the Philippines. He began providing domain and hosting services to 8chan in 2014 and became the site's official owner and operator the same year. Watkins became the operator of 2channel after he seized it in 2014 from its creator, and original owner Hiroki Nishimura.
Yes, Jim Watkins was called the king of porn, and he operated a website called Poke A Man, which was a gay porn site that Nintendo had to purchase the domain name for to shut down. Poke A Man.
Wow. Of
So
course it was.
that's the kind of man Jim Watkins is. He's the money man.
Well, he's clever, I guess.
Yeah, with a name like that. That's so clever. Those
Well, I enjoyed learning things from Alan as usual.
I do too, dude.
I popped in to talk about South Park for a minute. Okay. So we're on the subject of things that are supposedly comedic, like the Chans, but also super depraved. South Park, the reason I'm bringing it up is because I consider myself a fan for like ever. Even believed that they would take sort of a middle stance between issues, generally speaking, and forgave a lot of what I now realize is like pretty heinous depictions that were on that show. But when they put out their HBO special about whether or not people should get the poison dart, it astounded me at the level of selloutness that was going on there. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because the whole episode, which is like an hour-long special, centered around making the link in the viewer's mind between being anti-poison dart and being a full-blown raging Q-tard. But at the same time, they were unveiling all sorts of things that we know do go on, like the abuse of children and the harvesting of blood and things like that. Maybe we don't know when or where or who's doing it, and we can't, with a blanket statement, say who it is, but we understand that these type of sacrifice rituals exist. And at the very least, regardless how prevalent they are, it's not comedic material to depict in a television show, in my opinion, to show like Obama murdering a little kid or something. And South Park has kids getting killed constantly. And I've realized now just like how truly dark it was. But the reason I bring it up is because the McAfee thing, in my opinion, is just another way to add ammunition to the idea that anyone that's against the medical mafia is also into all this other far right wing conspiracy theory. And it's all one thing, kind of like if you don't wear a mask, you don't support BLM last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 2 cents.
us.
I just wanted to pop in and throw that into the consideration.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I can't breathe was the motto of BLM. And what do you think of when you think of masks? I can't breathe.
It's literally like if somebody had a blindfold on and they're holding up a sign that said, I can't see.
Yes.
Right.
They were selling masks that say I can't breathe when I was up at Chop or Chaz or whatever it was called.
We were all trained to watch V for Vendetta and wear the anonymous mask and remember the 5th of November.
It's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
And who was Guy Fawkes? Was he not a Jesuit agent, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, that's right. Guy Fawkes was that's right.
Yeah, so all this anonymous stuff has just got like a Jesuit logo right on the top of it.
Mm-hmm. Trust no one, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially not anonymous, shadowy information brokers.
There's a
Yeah, I think about that a lot too. Like, how trustworthy am I? Because, I mean, you guys know my associations. That I have some pretty sketchy connections in my past. Like, you guys should be suspicious of me. You know, like
Is that why your name is Gordy Two Shoes, to throw us off? Or because one
Yes,
shoe
that
is
I'm
good and one shoe is
actually a
evil?
good guy. Yeah, right. It's my duality. It's my yin yang that I'm projecting. It's like one black Chuck and one white Chuck.
Yeah, I have lightning bolt tattoos on my forearms that have like a life energy and a death energy. We have the power to create, the power to make live in one hand, and the power to destroy in the other.
It's the Kali.
Kali Yuga.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the God Kali that's within all of us. The power to create or to destroy.
You know, the other reason I popped in is because when we talked last, I was like, can we just make this episode number 42? Because I like that number. And here I am on 42.
Because you had to, right? Yeah. No, we should. Yeah, you should be here. This is where you need to be. So, Chance, did you hear earlier Snake talking about the 19 thing?
No, but someone, who was it that was asking me about what 19 could symbolize?
I was.
It was you. I thought so.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear what
And
Snake
you
was
pulled
talking
the-
about. I came in around the McAfee conversation. I don't want to
Okay.
derail it either. I want to keep you guys on track. I don't have to, I
Oh.
can be a fly on the wall.
Do we have a track? This is, you know who we are, right? Like, you're not new here.
We see the name Jim, and we're reminded again of Jim Watkins.
See, I'm still thinking about that too. Like, where are we going with that?
I watched
so-
the Q Into the Storm on Odyssey.com. Someone had re-uploaded it. So I'd watched, I think, 4 episodes of it. I didn't see the final 2 because HBO lawyers finally got to them and had them remove it. There was a link on 8chan to the Odyssey stream that I had seen. And there was a short description and discussion of Into the Storm on 8chan as it was talking about 8chan itself. And how it was like all of these Q drops were like drugs for people. They were addicted to them. The hopium, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is hopium. And that's, I think, I don't know if you guys saw that this is my take, that like everybody was looking at this thing like it was supposed to be some sort of like savior. He's gonna drop this thing and we're gonna bust him finally. You're never gonna get them. That's not gonna happen ever. Karma gets those people. That's
Absolutely.
not for us.
And it's part of their game to make us think. It's part of their game to make us think that they're gonna get got. Keeps us on the hook. Everybody relaxes a little bit when they think that we're winning.
Yeah, it keeps the game playing. It just keeps adding one more thing to the game that we're supposed to be paying attention to when we're not supposed to be paying attention to anything but figuring out our own bullshit.
The clues to follow, the books to read, the 1999 March published book by Luther Blissett, the title of Q. Have you read that one?
No.
The novel is set in Europe during the 16th century and deals with Protestant Reformation movements. Luther Blissett was a nom de plume for 4 Italian authors who were part of the Luther Blissett Project, which ended in 1999. A historical novel that has ties to the Q movement.
Oh, interesting.
Translated by Sean Whiteside, published in English in 2003.
a snake, what were those runes?
The Alpha and the Omega.
Ah, is that what that looks like? That's what Alpha and Omega looks like in rune?
Thulo. I can't pronounce it right now. I'm tired. The first and the last rune. Fehu. Othala, I think. I don't ever get to say them.
Very cool. It's good to see your face, that people know you still have a face.
It's too pretty.
It's too pretty. There you go. Back to poop. Yes.
Oh, yeah. You girls okay?
Yes.
Good night. I didn't collect eggs either. Darn it. This is Whitey over here. He's too fat to walk. He still has lots of sex. He'll just lay there now. I thought he might have Merrick's disease. It was really bumming me out, but he's just fat. He's good. Beautiful bird.
The bark rock?
Guys. A Plymouth Rock, yeah. Here's our first Plymouth Rock rooster. I'm learning.
They're such sweet birds, barred rocks.
Yeah, I was worried that I heard a lot of horror stories about roosters from people, and I was more worried about Ellis getting hurt or something, like spurred or something. But now Ellis can just walk right up to him and grab him. I can't. He's the chicken whisperer, my 10-year-old son. And we were at the farm supply the other day. This mother and her sweet little daughter were in line with us, and they saw what we were buying, and they're like, "You got chickens? We got chickens," and got the chicken conversation going. And then Ellis and this little girl took it over, and she was talking about her rooster, which was just like our red. His name was Inferno, but he's an angry bird, and she taught Ellis that you can grab a rooster and turn him upside down, and it'll hypnotize him and get him under control. Well, Golden Boy, he's a very timid, nice rooster. It's not necessary to do that, so I keep catching Ellis hanging this rooster upside down. Like, don't do that. No. They're good birds. They really are. Care about our animals.
It's really cool that you have all those.
I learned a trick from my grandma. She taught me how to hypnotize a rooster, and this also works. If you take a chicken, you can. I've never tried it with a rooster, but you lay it on the ground, and you draw a line from its eye away from it on the ground, and it'll just lay there after that and not move. It's bizarre.
Really? Does that works?
It works.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that. I was terrified of the roosters on my grandparents' ranch. Man, they were evil. These things are mean.
They can be super vicious. Flying at your head, that's the worst. If they haven't been conditioned, people conditioned,
I want to know, what do we think about the fact that there are these breadcrumbs spread backwards in time, potentially all the way back to what is described as ancient Egypt, with this Q phenomenon, with Pepe and all the interrelated hypersigils? Because one of the most important aspects of any hypersigil is the phonetics and the pronunciation of it. And Q Anon is not very far off phonetically from Canaan. You could pronounce it that way. Canaan, canine, the dog. Anubis, Hermanubis, Odin, the mercurial trickster, the amphibious one
Oh,
that can
that's
travel
interesting.
between worlds, the messenger of the gods, is the phenomenon that we see with Q,
So,
the priestcraft attempt to represent and harness that energy or that egregore, or is it that egregore itself communicating through us or to us, or is it somewhere in between on a spectrum of both things happening? Or am I way off base?
You've hit a home run.
Yeah.
24-hour sports, ESPN.
Yeah.
channel.
I was going to add Kane Lono, or Kane is the ocean god, the Polynesian ocean god in there too.
I mean, even Facebook has a logo that resembles the two-ball cane. The sons of Cain are said, or what the Masons call themselves. And we even have I like calling it the Clinton News Network lately, but technically that's the same phonetics. It's CNN.
I was just
They're all
gonna say
updates coming
CNN.
from the same place.
Yep.
Central Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
They call themselves the sons of Cain. I haven't heard that, but that's
The
interesting.
widows, the sons of the
Widow's
widow
son.
or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what I understand about that in the Masonic mythology is that the sons of Abel, I could be totally butchering this, but they're meant to be like the earth, the people of the earth. They don't have ambition. That's why they're meant to be ruled and controlled.
Hmm.
And that's like the dichotomy we see right now from the technocracy is to try to make more dependence on the system and less dependence on the earth, and more impetus on progress and constant change rather than cyclical harmony.
Very interesting.
Oh man, Alan just dropped fire in the chat. Canaan is the Gaelic word for the language. Whew. The
really?
language. The phonetic Kabbalah. The cable.
There's a book
Linkage.
called We the Scythians that I read through. Have you read this book, We the Scythians, The Lie of the Land of Egypt?
Sounds good.
David Ritchie's mind-blowing book about the lie of the land of Egypt. Nowhere.net, GNOWER.net, nowhere.net.
What is that?
That's the website.
Oh, for this guy?
Yep, he gets into the Giza geometry. And
okay.
D.A. Ritchie writes this book, and I got some notes that I have about it. Just kind of scrolling through them now. Ken Cousins of Gemstone University fits a lot of this together as well. If you're familiar with Ken Cousins,
Yeah, I know that name.
gemstoneuniversity.org. Books on ley lines and earth energies by
Earth energies.
David R. Cowan.
Hmm.
The importance of rivers. And
So this is all.
the Declaration of Arbroath, the Scottish equivalent of the Bill of Rights in the U.S., begins with the words, "We the Scythians."
Now, is this written as a fiction?
The first part of it is written as a fiction, and then the second part is written as mathematical equations. It's a very dense book, and there are many maps in the PDF, layers of maps.
Well, I'm glad we're going this direction. I'm going to have to go back to just watching and listening, but it was fun to hop in here.
Hey, thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, I was doing an interview for my own show, so I missed the beginning, but semi-related because the conversation was all about cryptography, the pros and cons of it, whether or not we'll be chained to the block or free to let our life force energy support our actual existence. So that'll be fun. But I'll catch you guys in the live chat. This is great. Thanks for letting me in. Do it again anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime. Come on. Thank you, Chance.
Thanks, Chance.
Good to speak
Hey,
with you again.
So we're seeing a lot of ocean god things here.
Yes, we
What are
are.
your thoughts
It's very
there, Aaron?
important.
Yeah. So Snake Jones said his phone died. Bye, Snake Jones. Good to see you, buddy.
And Chance's channel is Interverse Podcast, right? Is that his
Yes.
channel?
That is, yeah. And I've got his stuff up here. Chance Garton, Interverse, Consciousness, Imagination, Reality, and Wholeness. That dude's cool. I dig that show, man.
He's definitely a cool
He's
cat.
pretty great.
Yeah. He's definitely welcome back here anytime.
Interversepodcast.com is his everywhere stuff, I think. So, well, gentlemen, what else do we want to hit?
I've got more puns for you. Chan Ball.
Okay.
Sounds like Hannibal.
Okay.
El Chana is named El Kana with a Q.
With a Q. Hey, has anybody made the Quetzalcoatl association with Q?
Q, the
Like,
winged
I
serpent.
don't know if anybody remembers. Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys remember that movie? It was, I
Yes.
think, 70s, early 70s or late 60s. There was a movie just called Q, and it was the winged serpent.
It's in like New York City.
Yeah, all I remember is the poster now, because it probably is a garbage movie, but it was a Quetzalcoatl monster, right?
I rewatched that movie the other day, like 6 months ago.
Oh, did you really?
It was a a B movie, but it was actually pretty good. There was like a guy that was killing people to make sacrifices to the beast, I think. I don't remember exactly. I was like kind of in and out of sleep as I was watching it. But
Hey, Aaron, mute
Very-
your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can hear you pee.
oh,
I'm in the kitchen. It's been a long day.
yeah, there's some interesting connections to the feathered serpent. I remember seeing some there was a YouTube channel, I forget what it was. I think it was Enter the Stars Reloaded or something, and he made a connection to Quetzalcoatl with the Sandy Hook School, because before they tore it down, from above it looked like the road leading into the school was shaped just like a serpent.
Mm.
There's a serpent like from the Alfa Romeo, I think, where there's a crest with like a serpent with like a man inside of the serpent's mouth. And it looked like that from above. It looked like the road was the serpent's body, and then the head was the school, and then like the parking lot was the body of the snake or something like that. And it was on the same line of longitude as the Aztec city where they did sacrifices to Quetzalcoatl. I forget which
Interesting.
city that was, but yeah, kind of an interesting connection.
82? Was that the year that movie came out? Yeah, that's it.
Sounds about right.
It was
I just
recently
remember
shown on the
the
last
poster was really
drive-in.
cool. Shown on what?
The last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs.
Oh yeah. That's not still on?
Oh yeah, it still airs on Shudder.
What? Really?
They brought it back. He was on TNT on Monster Vision.
Dude, I
Joe Bob-
missed
Joe
all
Bob
those
Briggs.
monster movies.
Yep.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
That was my escape, man. As a kid, monster movies.
Oh yeah.
That and comic books kept my sanity. Being able to to over empathize with the monster, you know, that I was the Frankenstein.
I used to watch those midnight movies. I think was it with Joe Bob's, that show was always on at midnight, I think, back in the day. My dad used to stay up and watch those movies like They Live. I remember getting so excited for They Live
Mhm.
when it came on for the first time. Such great stuff.
He did it. Have you guys ever seen a movie on TV that was 3D? With the glasses, like Creature from Black Lagoon?
Nickelodeon had some
Did they ever
3D
do those?
content. They had like clear glasses, and I remember that on Nickelodeon.
But it wasn't very good, was it? Like those, especially on TV, it was terrible. But the red blue stuff, when they did those when I was a kid, because I always lived in like podunk towns where they would play like D-run movies, like stuff that was completely free, basically. So they run like old westerns in 3D, or Creature from the Black Lagoon, stuff from the 50s and 60s. So they didn't have to pay for anything. But the red blue stuff was really cool. It was really good when I was a kid.
That stuff was super cool.
And it had a charm to it that it's kind of like that stop motion stuff. Like Johnny, hey, Yeti Sling, if you're still around, dude, Johnny, I'm about to talk about Ray Harryhausen. So you need to come on if you're willing. But Ray Harryhausen did all the stop motion animation stuff with the skeletons and the Sinbad movies and stuff. That was a beautiful art form that CG is kind of ruined. Like the digital, it was that analog. And that's what we were always talking about, how we have to get back to the analog stuff and get rid of this. We don't have this. We don't have creation from this anymore. It's all here.
It's interesting that the way that 3D worked with one green or one blue and one red lenses. Like out of anything else, it's like those colors are such, like the Masonic Lodge, the Blue Lodge, and then the Red Lodge or whatever. It's such a interesting combination of colors. Like why couldn't it be green and yellow or something? I don't know. There's something about the way the colors work that it has to be those colors for it to work.
There's a color blindness gene in men that has to do with certain reds and greens and oranges and browns.
So it wouldn't work.
Are you colorblind?
There's a test for it. And you can see the numbers in the dot patterns. Have you taken the test?
I've taken the test. I'm not colorblind, as far as I know. I'm pretty not colorblind. But I'm a little bit amblyopic, so I have a tendency for my brain to only use one eye because I was born with a really bad stigmatism, and so 3D has always been kind of tough. Like I have to like really concentrate for my brain to use both eyes, or else I get like a left side favor.
Yeah, mine. My prescription is completely opposite. It's like nearsighted or farsighted. And I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, that's weird. That's a weird thing. He's like, the guy was like, this old timer guy was the first one to do my eyes, and he was like, oh yeah, you probably got hit in the head once or twice, and you know, because apparently head trauma can do that, and it's probably true.
Interesting.
Hey, is Aaron making eggs right now?
Looks like it.
Did you see
Awesome.
that? I got the double right there. Double egg.
You got a double yolk?
Yeah.
Rad.
Twins.
Probably.
Well, it's good. You got lots of them.
There's a process to calibrate our monitors as well. That's important for the printing process, and most people don't calibrate their monitors, so they would never know what true colors look like on computer screens.
That is true. Are you pretty diligent about that, or do you do art?
I was yearbook editor in high school,
You
so that was
don't still have to do that anymore, I don't think, do you?
to
Because
lay
true
out
color.
for paper.
Oh, for paper, yeah, for sure.
It gets
Yeah,
printed, so it
definitely.
has to match the inks.
Well, does anybody actually print anything anymore? When was the last time you guys used a printer?
I print stuff at work, but it's reference. It's for reference.
CMKY colors.
Is that
Who's-
like cyan and magenta?
Yep.
Yellow, magenta, and sienna? What?
Light colors are additive when you're designing sets, so you have to know that the lights are additive when you put the screens on the spotlights.
Do you do that with a Pantone book? Do the whole measuring?
You can if you
Comparative?
need to be specific. I wonder about laser light shows now. Oh, I see a grimace from a McDonald's plate.
But those are worth some
We're
money
just
by now.
watching Alan.
1989. These are my favorite ones right here. They're hard to find. Alima.
Oh, rad.
Doc Tiffany.
Rad.
Nice.
Oh man, I wish I had my old like Marvel ones, like the ones with the Hulk and the old
Yeah.
ones from the 70s.
Yeah, the really short ones.
Yeah.
I got RX Only Picture Show. You guys did that episode of the Smurfs, and that was the day I got this one. I had a couple of them. They're all broke now. We got the
Oh, nice. The Smurfy code. Love it.
man. I'm just eating eggs over here. Go ahead, guys.
Are you doing sunny side up?
Oh yeah, I like my yolk. I got everything bagels too.
Nice.
So
That's
are you
overbred.
subsisting on eggs, Aaron,
Pretty much.
to see if you can?
What's that? Is that like the is that a Atkins diet?
South Beach diet
South Beach diet? Yeah.
could be. What is the Canaanite diet? Children.
Oh God. I don't know. Ask Biden. You see that one? He does the little things like who's that one guy? Pockets of the Future did a video. He's like, oh my God. And they asked him a question about some Republican, this or that. He goes, well, it's not like us Democrats and drinking blood of children. And you're like, what? That's what he said.
That was like his town hall interview with what's his name? The CNN guy. Forgot his name. But yeah. Biden's an interesting dude. Always saying, really, guys, I'm being honest with you right here. You gotta believe me. You gotta trust me.
I don't think he even knows what he's talking about.
We're getting CGI Bidens, we're getting clone Bidens, and I think there's an authentic Biden in there, maybe like just dementia-like. Like, you ever seen that movie? What is it? Caligula.
There's definitely dementia. Like my wife was saying it too. She worked hospice.
Yep.
He gets that grin. That Joker grin is hilarious.
Here's the deal, dude. Yeah, you take your son to detox, fucker. You got bigger problems than your deals with China and bringing communism to America.
Yeah. I saw that on Twitter recently. He had a phone call with somebody and he's like, "You're calling me at 9 a.m. to tell me about blah blah blah." Hunter Biden, and then he takes a hit off the old crack pipe right in the middle of.
Oh, where's this video? I want to see this.
Yeah, and you can tell it's recent because he's got his new teeth.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you've heard his interview. There was a recovery podcast where Hunter did a whole. Yeah, I will find it. I'll send it to you, Aaron. But
Please, I have a heart for crackheads. I'm not talking.
yeah,
I'm very. If I could approach that family in that way, you know, but no.
yeah. The Colorado Public Media does a recovery podcast, and he interviewed him on there, and like it's like most addict stories, it's very similar, but I think
how could you imagine Hunter getting sober and like having a spiritual experience and like becoming this amazing human being?
You can hear the enablement.
Tells the world the truth.
Especially because his dad was bragging about passing the bill where it throws crack users in jail for 5 years, mandatory sentence, and they can confiscate all their property, not just their money that they get from selling it, but all of their property.
And okay, there's something here because he is behind all that crack epidemic. He is behind all the prisons, and then his son's a crackhead. Who knows? Maybe there's a story here. Who knows? Maybe that's the miracle right there.
Yeah.
I'm open to that. That'd be pretty cool.
Sure is a shame.
I got more love for Hunter than I'm willing to admit. I'm rooting for you, buddy.
Well, he did write a tell-all book.
He did?
Tell all.
Hunter did?
Yep.
Oh man, this is weird. I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
But it was about him, kicking the crack habit. I think, now that I'm clean, I'm going to write a book about
This is your not drugs.
my time.
Hunter Biden is an artist.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden probably uses the Phoenician red dyes in his work.
Oh, the purple.
Those phony dyes.
Canaan is written with a K. It's sometimes attested to be that missing Hebrew word for red dye, corresponding to Arabic kana, because the entire coastline of Canaan was dotted with Phoenician merchant cities producing dye. DYE, colored dye, going back to our discussion of printing and color blindness.
And the purple comes from the ocean, too. It comes
Yep.
from the shells.
Yep.
I learned that from Seth McLaughlin, Southern Dutch Cult.
Also, the Phoenicians, they created maritime law. The phony law that we are all under now, maritime phony Phoenician law.
Maybe if you can prove your ancestors were mermen, you can join the club.
Oh, it's like there's a registry, like proving you're an Indian so that you can get, I need to reconnect with my merman heritage, get my DNA done.
There's an amazing movement going on right now
Freaks.
showing that
I don't get it.
African Americans really aren't African Americans, they're actually Native Americans. Because there's all these tribes that are of a darker melatonin, and they've been here. They show how they can't register, but some are, and they keep it hush hush. But back when they began the censuses and the social securities and the birth certificates and all that stuff, they just put them down as African American. They're like, I'm not African American. I've been here forever. This is my tribe. This is my this.
That's interesting. I've been watching a lot of videos from this lady's YouTube channel. Her name's Michelle Gibson.
Yep.
And she believes that there was an ancient global society called, Mu, M-U, and that it was the Moors.
Yeah.
And that maybe, that's why it's the inversion that's going on now that, the whole slavery story came from.
Well,
was an
it's
version of that.
logistics issue about the boats and how they got that many people here during that time. Kind of like an oven thing. How long does it take to cremate a body?
That's a really good point.
So there are people talking about that and like, hey, listen, we're not denying that. What we're saying is, yeah, pay attention. I'd like to see. I'm just like, oh yeah, duh. But we're winning if those truths come out. Definitely are winning. Could you imagine on your own land? Who's to say that my family hasn't been here from day one? I can go back. My father, he traced 1600s, but there's no real records, right? I mean, could have been here the whole time. Dark city. They just move things around.
Yeah. Dark City. It wouldn't take that long for everybody to forget, you kill off a generation and then re-educate the kids with a new history.
That's very disturbing when you realize how easy that is.
Well, you see it. It's happened over and over again. Who knows how many times it's happened? I mean, Göbekli Tepe is clearly evidence that we have a former civilization that was purposely destroyed or hidden from the rest of the world. So of course the rest of history is. I mean, you see it happening all the time now, how they change history, how they're changing how our past, how they say it was.
When I share that school's like the worst experience in my life, I was up until like 5th grade. You start getting into like the science classes and the history and stuff like that. I just knew inherently it just didn't make sense. I couldn't learn it. And they're like, "You're retarded. You have ADD or something, right?" I think the reason I couldn't learn it is because it wasn't fucking true. That's simple. It just, and then I felt empty when they taught about the planets and all this stuff. It wasn't everything, but it was those types of things. It just,
Well, and our history teachers are always the coach. It's not like they're true historians.
No, right. Right. Pass the ball. Jump. Dribble.
Well, Chris,
My thoughts right now are about the Mercers. If you remember going back to the first female doctor and their family tradition,
Oh, right. What was that deal?
they were grocers.
Right, that's right. And that was when Barsky brought up the grocery is, what is it? It's marking something up over 100% of, yeah.
The spice merchants, the worshipful company of grocers, is one of the 110 livery companies of the City of London and ranks second in order of precedence. The Grocers Company was established in 1345 for merchants occupied in the trade of grocer and is one of the... It cuts off on it. Are you seeing the links in chat posting?
was that the link you posted?
Yes, it's the Wikipedia page. Worshipful Company of Grocers.
Interesting.
Oh, there it is.
Mercers?
Mercers are part of it.
Oh, you see their coat of arms
Yes.
is
Lumber.
a red shield
Yep.
with is that a merlady? Maybe.
She's a virgin.
Definitely a queen.
Queen. What has she got in front of her? Hard to say. Cotton? Clouds?
Marshmallows, a dead sheep.
Dirty
Mar-
pillows. The origin of the Mercer's maiden, the heraldic emblem of the company, is not known, according to Wikipedia. There it is from Jim's phone.
Very Rothschild-y, red shieldy.
There it is. Red dye again.
Red dye again.
Red dye. Phoenicians, the Phoenician merchants. Mercers.co.uk, the Mercers Company. Company focus on being a philanthropic force for good. 700 years of rich history and heritage.
It's a cloud bank, a bank of clouds.
Oh, are they bankers? Of course they are. They're City of London people. Didn't they come from the spice trade? And isn't that the East India Company that owns everything?
You're onto something there.
Go figure. East India Company, money, grossing, ocean, myrrh.
She's wearing a crimson robe adorned with gold, and her neck is encircled by a jeweled necklace, crowned or wreathed about the temples with a chaplet of roses, alternately argent and of the first, and crowned with a celestial crown, the whole within a border of clouds also proper.
Quite prim and proper.
In the clouds.
Border of clouds. She's got a cloud bank. What's a cloud bank?
That's where you keep your Bitcoin.
Your Bitcoin.
Yes.
Unbreakable Bitcoin. Unbreakable Bitcoin. There's the jingle. Just wrote it. Boom.
I wonder if she controls the weather.
There you go. The oceans do control the weather, supposedly.
Yes, and who controls the ocean? But maritime law.
Poseidon.
The judges of
That was-
Ball,
yeah.
Ball's bondsman.
Nice connections. Excellent.
Excellent work, guys.
This is
Excellent
all
work.
public information. Wikipedia. Just
We've solved it,
connecting.
gentlemen.
What else have you found?
Clockmakers.
Ooh.
Spectacle
Clock makers?
Yes.
You know that you know who's a clockmaker, don't you? Bezos.
Mm.
And his 10,000-year clock, and that other gentleman.
Interesting. 10,000-year clock.
You haven't seen that? No one's. Why doesn't this? It's in a mountain. It's underground too. I tried to start researching it, but I don't even know what to do with it. Like, why are you building a 10,000
$42 million clock, episode 42.
Yep. It's really cool watching him cut out the stairs, though, that machine.
It's the Gilded Age of Distraction, Wired says. The 10,000-year clock is a waste of time. How can Wired say such a thing?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not even more Bezos, and it's been like 8 months since I looked. When he left as a CEO, I heard it mentioned. And I went and looked into it. So his partner, the guy who designed it, now that's the guy. He did quantum computers, all kinds of stuff. This guy.
Krista says in chat, the red woman. Yeah, the scarlet woman.
If you guys don't know what this is, you're missing out on life. Lime popsicles with tahini, chili stuff. So good. Oh my God, it's so good.
Arizona.
Totally Arizona.
I don't think I could find that in any stores around here. Tamir? I haven't seen it in California.
Yeah.
Asian, yeah.
It's a chamoy. If you can find a chamoy sauce, it's pretty much the same thing.
Chorizo and eggs.
Yeah, I would miss the food. But I don't know. I might be willing to move again. I've lived in Arizona for quite a while.
It's always fun to mix things up and move.
Mhm.
Although moving sucks. The actual
Moving really sucks.
moving stuff is terrible.
I hate it. I moved a lot as a kid, and I hate moving. Hate it.
Time Ruler of all things. That's the company that's building the clock.
Wow. Time ruler of all things.
All things, really.
Saturn.
Trying to bring the golden age back, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not trying to bring it back, but maybe they're just. I think this is the time it's coming. Maybe
In
they.
the Matrix, there's the woman in the red dress.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So. Red dress, huh?
I'm just clicking all these links that I've taken note of.
Well, while everybody's paying attention to him going to space, they're not paying attention to that for some weird reason.
There's the worshipful company of clockmakers seal.
Whoa,
Very interesting.
Saturn.
Yeah.
It's Saturn. Is that what's that on top of that? Is that Earth? I guess. Yeah.
It's a globe.
I'd put an egg on it. That's what I'd do.
It's the heliosphere because it's got the
Yes.
ball at the center and everything going around it. That it's not a globe.
Not a globe. Yeah,
Wow.
you're right.
Hmm. We are. Oh man, think of song. Never mind.
In the post-employment economy, we're learning about jobs tonight. Jobs and how to get them.
Fuck.
Is that what news is talking about?
Gonna lose your job.
Oh, seriously? Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
She works medical, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It made me laugh. I've lost so many jobs in the last 10 years, and I'm fucking funny. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. You're fired. But I'm sorry, I'll never help that homeless man in front of your building again.
How dare you?
Yeah. Stuff like that. How to get a job. How to follow orders. How to
The livery companies, this is how you live. You work to live, or you live to work. At the livery company, there are 4 ways to enter. By apprenticeship, this is now rare. In earlier days, someone wishing to enter such a trade would bind themselves apprentice to a member of their chosen trade. As such, he was required to do precisely as he was instructed, and it was almost a form of slavery. But the apprentice did learn his trade, and his master was required to provide such training that at the end of the apprenticeship, usually 7 years, the apprentice would be sufficiently knowledgeable to become a member, and he became a free man of the city of London, free of obligations of apprenticeship.
So you bind yourself to someone.
Unless you're invited, which is the greatest honor. There's also a path of redemption. This is the path to freedom for all others and will require the payment of a fine, as well as interview or other admission procedures. Or by patrimony. Generally, a member's son born after he became a member were entitled to become members. Recently, most livery companies also allow the same privilege to daughters.
So I got my apprenticeship. Manly P. Hall, initiation of the pyramids. The true initiate never knows he's an initiate.
Yeah.
I don't fall for that shit. One big club, and I don't want to be in it. Unless, you know.
It's my favorite. Oh shoot, what's the quote? The Groucho Marx quote. I wouldn't ever want to be a part of a club that would take me.
Yep. My dad loved him.
Yeah.
Marx Brothers movies are genius.
Duck soup.
Yeah, Duck Soup. Date the Circus. All those are great. Just brilliant. Anyway,
Name one good intelligent comedy that's come out. Anything?
Recently,
Yeah. Name a good comedian for real.
I like Norm Macdonald lately.
Oh yeah, they've been killing it on Roseanne Barr talking about. Well, that wasn't him. Yeah, it was. He has a bunch of those guys on. No, but he's not new.
Yeah. Not a lot of new comedians, I'd say.
Adam Sandler's not a good comedian. You know, those guys. We got all that shock comedy now. Just pushing the.
I
I
watched
know.
Alex
The-
Stein last night. Trauma-based news night with your host, Alex Stein of Conspiracy Castle.
Trauma based, huh? That sounds fun.
Yes, it
And it
is.
sounds like a real hoot. Woo!
Oh, there's a guy that I forgot his name. I'll have to look him up again, but he's got a YouTube channel. He's pretty funny. He has like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sort of style show with Biden. What's his name? It's funny. He's pretty funny.
All the good stuff's like in the dive bars right now. They're not getting on TV.
Yeah, probably.
Charlie Chaplin and his The Great Dictator.
Pedophile.
Was he?
Yep.
I guess so, huh?
His wife
Yeah.
was like 13.
Mm-hmm. Great Balls of Fire. Damn it.
Yeah.
It was fire. Yeah.
Great Balls of Fire. That's like Olympics, like torch ceremony.
Or just Aaron's balls,
Hey man,
all sunburnt and wrinkled, shriveled up.
every 10 minutes I'd roll over, so there's other things getting burnt.
It's okay to take a mental health day.
Biscuits are burning.
If we are a team sport, it's okay if one of us takes the night off. Barsky.
I got into that. You know, you have property like mine or something like that. It was like, why am I not naked right now? Kind of thing. But it has to do with the sun, and we were talking about vitamin D, all this and that. I was like, I'm sunning my balls. I'm doing it. Go out there, and I'm man spreaded. I'm like, this feels fucking amazing. I mean, it felt great. You feel good. Like testosterone. I don't know. I come
I've
in.
never. Oh,
My wife's
I'm sorry.
laughing at me. She's like, "Oh, Aaron." Of course, she's out there naked 2 weeks later, but it was Cliff High. I literally walk in to my house, do what I do. I grab the phone, look, see what's on YouTube, and Cliff High is just posted a video on sunning your balls.
Mm.
And a way to it's a what I'm sorry, it's so late. Prevention for cancer. What he learned with his cancer. And what he was saying is sunning your balls increases testosterone because prostate cancer and all that stuff comes from low testosterone levels. Vitamin D. It's the quickest way to get vitamin D next to, I guess, sunning your butthole. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? Right? I don't know. But
Let the sun shine in.
from that moment on, that's what I was doing.
Testosterone and female gymnastics.
I just ate 12 eggs. It was amazing. Did you ever sun your balls though, Gordon? Somebody don't lie to me. Alan.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
talking about.
Dude,
I did when the sun was eclipsed by the moon, and then I got I was unwelcome in that area, and I had
At the
some
mall.
oils that were brought back with me on my flesh.
Definitely helped the mood for me.
It definitely helps. Dude, I've never felt better since starting to like hike without my shirt on and stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like the serotonin levels reset and it's
Walking. Neil Kramer, I walked from 2011 to 2014, 15. I literally walked everywhere. To work, I was walking an hour to work for many years. And I would listen to something like this. I mean, it's what was happening. So Neil Kramer one day comes out, this seminar, he goes, the 3 most spiritual things you could do. Walk, write, and listen. And I just knew that was true because I had been writing, walking, and listening. And I got so much growth out of it. It's not even funny. Those original thoughts were coming, downloads, this and that. It's just, it's amazing. Could it really be that simple?
It really is. It's Lindsay and I have talked about that a lot, that it's not complicated. It's hard, but it's not complicated.
No, I was so blessed to have that experience. I mean, I bitched a lot. I was like, hey, I need a car. I need my license back. It's been 9 years. Can I get it back now? But man, the growth I got out of it. And then you forget. So you get your car back, you get your job back, you get all these responsibilities. You're doing 40 hours a week. You're getting your insurance. You get your first mortgage. You know, all that stuff comes in. Oh, credit card. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my God, I'm like Babylon is what it was. And you die inside. Going from like
In a good way.
Yeah, that's when you know. Those are my trials and tribulations. I see a lot of people kind of get stuck in it.
So
I really wish I was broken homeless out in California again some days. Life is simpler.
when you got it all back, did you realize that you didn't miss it, or
I got
that
more than
you need to leave it?
before. I got more than I ever had before. All I ever wanted was my family. And some peace. Peace is what you want. Peace. Peace in the mind, in the heart. And you get it. Yeah, I never owned a house before. I never did any of those things. None of that. And then I don't know. I'm just trying to. It goes right back to the walking, man. Maybe we should. We should do a whole episode on those 3 things, huh? Journaling,
Sun, walking, journaling,
listening to podcasts.
listening.
I'm journaling names that I hear and trying to determine what the meaning of the name is. I don't know if the parents intentionally read the etymology dictionaries to determine the names of their possible children or not, but there are some interesting names. We had one Oliver Demon 2 weeks ago, I think. And now the new
Right.
name in the news is, how do we say her name? Simone Ariane Biles,
The gymnast.
the gymnast with the mental health break.
Is anybody paying attention to that?
I've heard that on the radio in the store. That's weird. I would not have heard that otherwise. They're airing it in the shoe store.
So what happened?
Well, he just brought up that lady.
The
I guess
female
Olympic
gymnast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she has this name, Simone, S-I-M-O-N-E.
What happened to her?
She was involved with a coach by the name of Nasser, Nasser, who was the FBI failed to properly investigate serious sex abuse allegations against former USA Gymnastics Dr. Larry Nasser, according to the Justice Department's Inspector General, who also determined that FBI officials gave misleading or false answers when confronted about those failures.
Didn't he? He'd made a lot of videotapes of his treatment as he was doing muscle treatments of his patients, which were, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls that he would touch inappropriately.
Yeah.
Without
He's already
gloves.
been busted, right?
And they paid the U.S. gymnastics team paid some settlements to keep his victims quiet.
Now this, I'm.
That's not sketchy at all.
Yeah. If you were to ask him, he would tell you, of course it's nothing wrong with it. What do you mean? You can touch 16-year-old girls all you want. 14, 12. There's nothing wrong with that. No. The fuck?
And her being called GOAT reminds me a little bit of Baphomet, ooh la la.
Why did they call her the goat?
Greatest of all time athlete
She-
in her field. 30 gold medals, I think.
30?
Wow.
Yes.
Mm.
So I'm getting into this name here, and Krista in chat is talking about
Mhm.
names being left to fate or influenced by something else to fit the personality. Yes, but there's also a synchro mythic aspect to these names. Bile's last name, bile, a bitter brownish yellow or greenish yellow secretion produced by the liver, stored in the gallbladder and discharged into the duodenum, where it aids the process of digestion. Bile is bitterness of temper, ill humor, or irascibility. It's from Latin, bilus.
They used to bleed the bile out, when they would bleed people for medical treatment. The bile was one of the fluids, blood, bile.
Reminds me of Genuflect, where they have the facilities where all the bodily fluids are collected.
At Bloomberg's headquarters there in London, City of London.
Is it Rosenberg in the novel?
Oh, I mean Rosenberg, not Bloomberg.
Right. Totally different people.
Totally different people.
One's
Not
one's fictional and one is also fictional. And then this middle name on this gymnast, Arion, reminds us of ancient Greek, Ariadne.
Is this how they code the Matrix and names and all this? Is this what they're doing?
Must be. What else could it be?
I'm trying to figure that out because when it comes to etymology, I mean, I've never really applied it to names like that before. But
Did you catch what I said about Simony? Her name is Simon, Simon, with an E at the end. Literally pronounced simony, like Simony, countable and uncountable, plural simonies. This is the buying or selling of spiritual or sacred things, such as ecclesiastical offices, pardons, or consecrated objects. From Old French simony, from late Latin simonia, named from Simon Magus in Hebrew, with reference to Acts 8:18 through 20. And when Simon saw that through laying on of hands the Holy Ghost was given, he offered them money, saying, Give me also this power, that on whomsoever I lay my hands he may receive the Holy Ghost. But Peter said unto him, Thy money perish with thee, because thou hast thought that the gift of God may be purchased with money.
nice rabbit hole.
It goes deep because Ariadne is in the labyrinth with the Minotaur, the daughter of King Minos of Crete and his queen Pasiphae.
Ovid.
Mm-hmm.
This is a play.
It does go deep indeed. There are several circumstances in the story of Ariadne which offered the happiest subjects for works of art, and some of the finest ancient works on gems as well as paintings are still extant, of which Ariadne is the subject. Ariana Biles. Simone Ariana Biles.
So when it comes to the hero's journey and these types of things, it's the closest I can relate to playing out some kind of astrology or something in my own life. Whether you have two choices, I guess, even if they ignore it, like some of us are engaged in it no matter what, right? It just something happens, and or you're looking for it, and you just naturally do. I was rewatching a film called Dead Man today, just to kind of tap into a place I was at that time. The character Xavier and adopting this archetype, and I lived this story. It was a hero fan. I was living the hero fan card, and I was going through that. And so these people are just trying to play out these plays in our lives with name choosing and all this stuff. It doesn't. What makes it evil? I don't. What makes it bad? I know touching little 16-year-old girls makes it bad, but it doesn't mean like these groups of people are bad. Doesn't mean that they're right. We chose the name of our children. We thought through it, and the meanings that are attached to them now were like, whoa. So even though that we weren't consciously choosing the names of our children and this stuff like that, there was still something subconscious going on between me and my wife.
It has to feel right to the parents.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to relate to this and see now if we don't get this education in our families and our lineages, so what are we really what conclusion are we coming to? Yeah, like should we just really just encourages me to be more involved in those things with my own family and friends, you know. This magic that we choose and the magic we use, playing out these stories. Like if you find that you might be in one of these stories, like you feel like you're living in a movie or something like that, just go with it. If you're attracted to an archetypal character in a film or a video game or a book, run with it. You know, play with the names. Call yourself Snake. Call yourself Exhibit Shape a little bit or something. You know, there's something really awesome there, and it doesn't seem like it really matters if you choose the Greek version or the Chinese version or whatever. It's just as long as you're engaged in some kind of story. But I guess maybe they just got so perverted with it and they lost the true meaning of it all. And here they are, you know, raping each other and drinking each other's blood and shit. I don't know.
Well, they've
You know.
sold themselves. They've chosen somebody else's story to live for them instead of choosing their own story, not making their own story.
Yeah,
That's what the hero's journey is, finding your own story.
that's true. Right. I think there's some really good, like I would say back to the film Dead Man. I mean, there's scenes in it that just bring this spirit, tap into something. I lived it, it was there, but I'll revisit it and I can go back to it. But he made that film. That's what a real artist is. You know, maybe it was channeled or something. Could be in a book sometimes too. I'm that's where our magic is, and it doesn't. I'm not intimidated by these people anymore with their little games and shit. Because whatever's available, you don't have to have all this knowledge of their history, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, what if you abandoned it all and just started writing your own book, blank page, kind of thing? You still would find it in the Akashic records. It'd still be tied to your blood that goes back 2,000 years. You know what I'm saying? Should probably start encouraging each other more when we like do kind of weird things like wearing stocking on our head or paint our faces. Yeah, let's start really getting into that more. Adopting an animal like an owl, which is really awesome. I bet we could do a lot better things than they've done that way.
We write our own stories. We write our own gospel.
Revelations, right?
Our own good news. Our own life story.
This one's really bizarre though. I'm at a loss with all this. I'm not even gonna say the C word. It's a struggle because all of a sudden it's just here we are looking at the unknown for real every day. And it seems like, you know that there's some pain coming for everybody, right? We can look back on every single one of us that's in the chat, that's in this group right now, can really look back on what's the whole saying? When I look back, I can see that God does for me what I couldn't do for myself, kind of thing. I don't know, you see it and you're like, whoa, all that pain, but then all that joy that comes with it as well. You know, the risk. I can tell you, it's like, oh my God, I could die doing this kind of thing, and I'm actually doing it, and you come out the other side. Yeah, so it is. It's this individual.
That's when you find your power, though. Your real power, your authentic power. You get through that stuff. Hey, my connection is really sketchy, so I keep freezing and getting dumped out. So I'm gonna do this real quick, all right? And then I'm gonna take off, guys. But
I gotta go too. Love you, Gordon.
remember this? Okay. Optogenetic priming. Your immune system is intrinsic wellness. Are as assaulted by so many pathogens and poisons, you cannot control their consistency in your proximity right now. But one thing you can control is this: your own ideas about your presence and worth on this planet. and the ways in which you plan to continue shining that truth out for all to see. You are the last defense against the true virus, the virus of the mind that taught us all to hate ourselves and each other. Never give up, never forget what you truly are, never stop reminding everyone with ears to hear you and eyes to see, keep the faith.
Did you just open that up? Did you do
I
that?
did.
You
It,
did.
yeah, it works every time, dude. Every
Except-
time.
Ratico, the mind virus.
All right.
Like
We
it's-
live
night,
in your
guys.
mind.
Good night, Gordon.
Good
All right,
night.
bye.
See you later. I think it's a pretty good place to maybe call it a night on the show.
Yeah, we want people waking up at 3 a.m. hearing us still talking and having weird old dreams and shit. I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
No, I had to come back and say thank you guys. Thanks for doing this, Aaron. Thank you for Alan. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Thank
Thanks
you.
for hanging with me, guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks to the city of London for providing jobs for us.
Yeah.
Cities take London.
Thank you, City of London. Until next week, live in your minds.
Doing the chair dance.
I can't dance.
If you got no pants, you can't dance. Safety dance.
What's the Saturday Night Live? Are they all night at the Roxbury?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. I'm not a grocery business no more.
How old are you, Marcus? Alan?
Born in 1986.
Wow.
Marcus 86 on Twitter. AlanMarcus.com.